Welcome to Honest Car Reviews. My name is Eric and this is the Volvo XC40 P8 Recharge all-wheel drive. It is the first electric car from Volvo. What does the P stand for anyways? Not performance, but for pure electric. And how can you tell? Well, the hints are few, but if you know where to look, you'll find them. Most easily, you will see the covered front grille, because you don't have any combustion engine to cool and to help reduce aerodynamic drag. Paint is sage green, so the car becomes two-tone, so black at the top part of the car. These extra option wheels is also unique for the P8 Recharge, the Recharge branding, the unique plaque, P8 all-wheel drive Recharge. This is classic Volvo. It doesn't look too brash, but it tells you everything you need to know. In Sweden, the Volvo V60 has sold the most, but that's most probably because of company leases. And if the people would have to choose, I think that it would be the 40 that they would go with. The V60 looks sleek, yeah, but the XC40 just embraces all that is good with the new design language from Volvo. Say what you want about crossovers, but Volvo really nailed the design with the XC40. And as always, I'll look in the rear compartment. So the batteries are down low in the car. There's no ridge and there's decent amount of luggage space. Nothing to really complain about, and of course you can fold down the rear seats in the 60/40 configuration. We have to go inside, of course. And inside is classic Volvo, and of course the new Volvo design generation. Quite a few years on its neck, but of course it feels modern. There's nothing to complain about in that aspect. And there are not that many options apart from the 360-degree camera, which you can see here, and the panoramic sunroof, which you control without a button. It just feels your hand. It works amazingly well. And the Harman Kardon sound system, and I really like this sound system. The bass is poised, it is quick, it doesn't lag, and there's a lot of dynamic range in this one. These are all the extra options, and looking through the interior, there aren't that many buttons. That they went for the Android Auto, I think is a smart move, because Google actually makes a very good system. And together with Volvo's own nicely developed digital gauge cluster, I just like how it looks. Depending on which speed you have, the map will be different zooms. So if you're going a bit slowly, it will be zoomed in, and if you're going a bit faster, it will be zoomed out. All in all, this car costs 80,000 euros. Base price 70. So this car has the heating pump to heat the battery, the towing hook, and of course this technology package. What I would like is to have some more information regarding the available range. Right now I have 40% of battery, but I don't know what range I have. You only get the range left when you go under 25% of battery. You might not know this, but the car is actually on and ready to go. There's no start or stop button. You just put the car into drive and you're off. And because it is electric, there's almost no sound. The new electric Wave gives you a completely different driving experience. People complain about electric engines and the electric revolution is happening because there's not enough sound and things like that. But what people are forgetting is that the electric engines and the electric cars give you a much smoother ride. There isn't an engine that hums or vibrates. There's only one gear, so you never lurch forward. The power is always there. Rolls-Royce are trying to make an engine that is perfectly balanced. And what does the electric system give you, whatever the price costs? An amazing drivetrain. Already you have elevated the driving experience from an ICE engine. When I charged it, it was a maximum of 40 kilowatts. The charging cable could provide 50, but 40 was the maximum. And of course, when you start to reach 70% of the battery, the charging speed slows down. The claimed range is just above 400 kilometers. And I believe them. You have 408 horsepower at your right foot, so the car does 0 to 100 kilometers an hour in 4.9 seconds. It is amazing how they could extract this performance and this stability with that power from the XC40 platform, and 400 horsepower in an XC40. Who needs that? Well, I don't. And I think that this is showing what Volvo can do. A 250 horsepower version or a 300 horsepower version would be adequate. Even a 200 horsepower version. The rear, at least, very difficult to know what it's doing. Will it throw you in a period at any second? Very difficult to know. When it dries up, of course, no problem, because you get more information from the tires. But when it's very cold and the road is frozen, I don't think that there's enough connection with you and the car. And of course, the steering is very, very light. You can use one finger basically, so the car doesn't really talk back to you that much. I have to talk about my absolute pet peeve with this car, and that is the braking pedal. It is way too stiff. In the beginning, this is very light, but nothing happens there. And then you get to the hard part of the pedal, and still nothing happens. And then you're realizing, yeah, there's a red light, I need to brake now. So you're pressing a bit more, and then the car just stops like that. So there have been so many times where I've been almost panic braking without me trying to. There's the possibility to use one pedal driving, so the car will brake for you, but that's not for everyone. At least what I heard, it's about 50-50. Either you hate it or you love it. Because of the design language or the design of the XC40, the C pillar is very covered, so it's very difficult to see when you're trying to pass someone. One big problem that I had was that I had around 60% when I got out of the car, but when I started the car I had 0% range. Nothing, just zero. Couldn't start the car, just told me to get to the nearest charging station. Nothing. I got out, got in, nothing, just zero. And then after 5 minutes, like a cable was loose, or the software did a recheck and found, yeah, the battery has power, now you can drive. But it's very scary to get in the car and see that you have zero when you know that you have 60%. That hasn't happened after that, and I talked to Volvo and they said that it hasn't happened before. The bottom line, the Volvo XC40 P8 Recharge all-wheel drive is a usable electric Volvo, but with the still not fully developed public charging network and charging speeds that are not up to par with what car manufacturers claim. The price of 80,000 euros for this car and 70 as a base price is steep. The car is well built and you have a lot of power, but this car would be best at around 250 horsepower and sub 50,000 euros, because this is a small car, an XC40 after all. And that's my final conclusion for the Volvo XC40 P8 Recharge all-wheel drive. See you next time.